My name's Josh Garnett, and my favorite Bible story is Noah's Ark. I don't know, I find it heartwarming that somebody would go to those lengths to obey God, because I know it's sometimes very difficult to do what God wants you to do.
I'm Maddie James, and my favorite verse is from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. I love this verse because it reminds me that even when I'm feeling stressed, with God I can feel empowered and get through it.
I'm Ethan Kopinski and I'm 17 years old. So I've seen God work in my life in many different ways. One of the main ways I've seen him work in my life is by taking toxic relationships and toxic people out of my life. I've had a lot of relationships in the past that I thought I've valued a lot, and then God has taken them away from me for one reason or another, and I've been mad at him, and then now looking back I realize, oh, that's for the best. It really is better. So I've seen him work in that by protecting me by taking away those relationships.
My name is Grayson Hoffman, and I would describe sin as anything that disrespects God or anything that you do that does not go within God's instructions or boundaries. So anything there's obviously the self-explanatory ones like stealing and don't murder and all that stuff, but there's also little things that you can do. Like saying the wrong thing to someone, or saying something that you know that you shouldn't say, or even doing something that you know that you shouldn't do. You can know that you're not supposed to do something and then do it anyway, which turns into be sin. Or you can resist it and resist the temptation of it and end up doing something that you're not going to regret. So that's how my perspective of sin is.
My name is Addison Curry, and what forgiveness means to me is that I have someone that I can lean on when I feel guilty about doing something that I know that in the end it's not going to last forever, the thing that I did, and that I can be forgiven for any mistakes that I make.
You're gonna have that progression. You're always gonna make mistakes in your life. Now obviously some things, some things are gonna be hard to ask forgiveness for than other things, but to just kind of sum it all up, forgiveness is anything that you come to God with and say, I'm sorry, can I please have a second chance, and I will not do that again in the future.
Hi, my name is Callie James. One question I have about Christianity is about Old Testament God. When we were younger, a lot of the stories we were taught were actually rather violent, like Noah's Ark. I've always wondered how the God in the Old Testament could also be the God in the New Testament, because God doesn't change, but in the New Testament, God seems more merciful. It makes it hard for me to understand God.
One question that I wish I had the answer to about Christianity is what heaven looks like. I'd love to know the details about what goes on in heaven and what's going to happen once I leave the earth. I always think about who I'm going to see there and how other people are going to see me, what I'm going to look like, and how life would be like there, what kind of things I'd be doing and stuff like that.
Faith has given me more confidence by allowing me to meet people in the church, whether it's at youth group or just events that the church has been having. It's been great for me to get to know people, and I really do love helping with a lot of things. I like doing AV. Trevor helping me learn AV has really helped me with confidence. I mean, it's really cool to think about it. I've never thought about it that way. I just thought about it as, well, I push a couple buttons and I show people a couple things. I now have the confidence after doing this for months that I know that I don't mess up very much, which is great. Also, I have just loved getting to know the entirety of the AV team because they're all great people, and Tom's wonderful as a preacher. He's a really nice guy. I know a lot of people through the church, and it's helped me get through a couple hard times by just knowing that somebody's there to help me.
And then one thing I want older generations to know about people my age and around my age is that we are on our phone a lot, but what we're doing on our phone is usually talking. We're usually communicating. We're not being antisocial. We're connecting with the world, connecting with all of our friends almost every time that we're on our phone. That is the main thing that we do.
And one of the things that today's youth wish adults understood is how much things like the political climate, gun violence, and climate change causes us so much stress. We feel like there's so much work to be done in these areas, and we really can't do much about it, so we're counting on adults who can vote and run for office and advocate for policies to make these changes because they impact our lives, but we have no control over them.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening.